Well, how's it going, everybody? My name is Justin, and this is Lacey. We are your host for the Zero Podcast, and today we're very excited because we're talking about side hustles.
So this is a question we actually get asked a lot, and that is, how do you guys travel so much? And so we've done episodes before on like budgeting for vacations and whatnot, but truly the thing that's really helped us is side hustles. And it's cool because it's a big origin to the beginning of our marriage. There's been a lot of them, which we'll share later about like in our life. So yeah, we thought we'd talk about that today and how that's really truly been the biggest thing that's helped us be able to travel and do what we do.
Yeah, and then what happened is one of our side hustles eventually, because we had several, turned into actually a business. And so we don't really have a side hustle per se anymore. I guess it kind of is the way you look at it. We'll talk more about that. But
I do have to bring out, remember your candle making side hustle, Justin?
That was one of the better ones.
Is that ever going to come back?
Literally, I think I sold one, and it was to my mom. So,
well, the thing I love is you had all the gear, though. We probably still have it. I know.
You know what I should do is bring it out and make some candles for Christmas.
Oh my gosh,
because they were actually really good.
They smell really good.
Do you remember the scent of the candle?
Coffee's probably something.
Yeah, it was coffee cake.
Okay, yeah, coffee
cake.
And
it was actually a really good scent. I upped the dose in the scent because you know how some candles, it doesn't put off the fragrance.
You wanted it very pungent.
And it was very pungent, but not like burning pungent. It was nice.
It was good.
And I remember my mom's like, "Can I get a refill?" And so she gave me, because I bought these like really nice like latte mugs from Anthropology. Yeah.
Whoa, I forgot about that.
I think I still have them. They're really
those are nice. Why aren't we using those right now?
They're just upstairs right now.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, but she comes back with that mug. Can I get a refill of my candle?
Refill my candle, please. I like how we don't even have one. I would like one.
I should make
There's a Christmas idea for you.
We should vlog about it. Anyway, if you don't follow us on like our other channel, which is Our Zero, we do lifestyle vlogs.
Yes.
Maybe during Vlogmas, we haven't even talked about that yet. So maybe we're doing, maybe we're not. But maybe during that season, I'll make some candles.
Might happen. That might have to happen.
Anyway, we're not talking about candles today. We are talking about side hustles. And we actually have a podcast, actually a 3-part podcast planned. It's already outlined, ready to go. We just got to sit down and talk about it.
Right.
About how this side hustle turned into an actual full-time business.
Right. You want to share just kind of the
with employees, with all of that.
Yeah.
But it all started way before that, and we really honestly believe in side hustles to fund things. To not take like the money out of like your primary income, but have something else that you can use towards, paying off debt or travel or whatever. And so kind of the beginnings of why we decided to side hustle is because when we first got married, we wanted to do two things. Number one was to get out of debt, because we both came in to our marriage with a little bit of debt. And mainly it was more of me than Lacey. But whatever. What's mine is yours, babe.
Right. Yours is mine.
So good. But that was our priority. We also bought a house when we first got married and things like that. That was a huge priority. And so we were really just trying to clean up. Okay. And then the other thing was we really wanted to travel, and we wanted to prioritize that. And so we kind of realized, okay, right now, before we can even think about travel, we got to clean up our debt.
Yeah.
And this is not a debt episode. Maybe we'll talk more about that later, but it inspired us for the side hustle.
Right.
We realized we had a very small, like, baby sand toy shovel scooping to get out of debt.
Right.
Okay, we had barely any money.
That was like our picture, our metaphor. It's like, okay, here's our debt. Here's your tool to get out of debt. And we both looked at each other's income. And mind you, this was the time of, what was it, 2010, 11, the Great Recession area.
Yeah, I mean, there was no jobs.
Jobs were nowhere to be found. Terrible. It was insane. People with like, degrees were not able to use them because they couldn't get jobs. So anyways, we were both working many jobs.
3 jobs.
I'm pretty sure we were both doing 3 jobs.
So it was literally, because again, we wanted to buy a house. That was a huge priority. And so we were basically just making ends meet. I mean, that's the era where I did a paper out. Yeah. So I was gone from midnight to like 3 in the morning, 7 days a week, even on Christmas.
Right.
I was doing that and
doing the church, obviously, with that too. And then I think, I don't know if lawns. I know you mowed lawns and stuff in the summer.
There's a lot of different things trying to bring in somewhat of an income to be able to.
And that
survive.
was just to pay the bills, pay the rent, groceries, whatnot.
Yeah.
So obviously
Humble
we didn't have
beginnings.
much to do any kind of travel at all. So that's where we did, had to like start getting creative and like, how are we going to do this?
And so we were like, okay, well, what we have to do is we have to, we need to upgrade our shovel to get out of debt because this is not making any.
This tiny little sand
literally,
shovel.
we're not even surviving because interest and all that, so we got to figure this out. So that's when the side hustle came in, but we didn't have much time to do a side hustle because we're already working 3 jobs.
Right.
And so we had to kind of figure out, be creative of how we can do side hustles in between jobs, and we had no idle time. We had no weekend. We had no lazy mornings. It was a season.
Yeah.
I remember the first time we actually had a legit day off. And that was crazy.
Yeah.
So we can go into more of that story later on. That's a whole nother podcast. So that's kind of what inspired us to have the side hustle, right? Nothing was hiring. Our shovel was small. We needed to get out of debt. We wanted to travel, all these different things. We had passion to do that. That was a priority.
Right.
And so people always ask us, like, since we were even early on, like, how did you travel? How did you do these different things? Like, and we always said it's the side hustle. Like we found different things to make a few extra bucks and we put that into travel or into paying off debt or whatever.
Right. And
it never touched our primary income.
Right.
So knowing the kind of like, I guess, humble beginnings, the backstory, the lore, if you will, we're going to go ahead and answer some questions early on because I feel like the questions are going to show the narrative as we
brings out a lot of points we wanted to bring out anyways, so rather than saying it again twice.
So thank you. If you do not follow us on Instagram, please do that because honestly with our podcast we ask questions quite a bit. And if you don't know, if you're listening to this podcast, we did move over to a brand new channel on YouTube. So please go over there and subscribe. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the new year, which would be awesome. And we may do like some kind of cool giveaway as well. So help us get there. We appreciate that. Okay, this question actually helps transition into the segment of the podcast. And that this is from Magical World of Rachel. Hello, Rachel.
Hi,
we love you so much. And she said, what were your first side hustles? Because I have a feeling you started young.
You are right on that one.
Yes. Okay. So let's get into the first side hustle. So again, this is stuff we had to be creative with. It was the beginnings of being an entrepreneur because we realized nothing else was hiring. We had to like figure this out on our own. And so let's just talk about them. So one of the first side hustles that I had, besides the candle making business,
let's be honest, that did not make any money.
No, nothing. Was actually filming weddings, actually. And it's crazy because I got away. I started with the whole creative world and then got away from that. Okay. And then we kind of came back, obviously. But it was what happened. We were like kind of praying, trying to like, okay, what are we going to do? And it was someone you were working with at a coffee shop who was getting married. Yeah. And you basically like promoted me and said, oh, my.
Well, she was looking for somebody. She's like, I would love for my wedding to be videoed and somebody make a video. I'm like, I know somebody who can do that.
I know someone who knows how to press record. And so that was the first wedding. And did it, wrapped it up, edited it, gave it to her.
I actually did 2 of my friends.
Liked it someone else. And we did that a couple times.
Yeah.
I realized very fast, however, that I absolutely hate doing weddings.
Yeah. It was stressful.
It's just so much pressure. Like, think about it. Like if you miss the kiss, if you miss the cutting the cake, like if you're in the bathroom and they're cutting the cake, so you can't go to the bathroom. You're literally having to wear a diaper the entire time because you don't want to miss out on something.
Unless you've got a team, which is the way to do it. Yeah, you didn't.
Anyway, so if you're doing videography, if you're filming or photography, hats off to you. It's pretty intense job. But I realized that I didn't like that, but I still did it. It brought some income. Yep. Which helped us, really at that point just get out of debt.
Right.
But also I remember we started planning our first trip because we're like, oh man, we're getting close to get out of debt. Like, let's start planning our trip. And it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that was one of my first side hustles. Another side hustle I had was flipping appliances.
Right. And like we shared before, besides travel, we also were really, our big goal was getting out of debt. And we did not want to have like our car payments. So we already had like credit cards paid off. So now we were hitting our cars.
Yeah, that's right.
And so this side hustle actually paid my car off.
Because right now, we got our credit cards paid off. And so we started planning a trip, we started the actual travel or the travel vacation fund early on. So we started putting money away for that fund while trying to pay off our car. And so we're like, hey, we got to figure out something that's going to be pretty lucrative to do this. Because we don't want to have that. And so I had, plumbing background. And so what I would do, I actually did this with a buddy, is we would go on Craigslist and we would find used washers and dryers. Some that worked great, but they looked like trash. And then the others that didn't work, but we could fix.
Right.
We got to the point where this was such a good little side hustle that we ended up putting a 210 outlet in our garages to test, like dryers and all that kind of stuff.
Make sure they were working properly.
We had a whole hookups in our garage to do we had a whole little area in our garage that just had appliances, knobs and hoses and just all that kind of stuff that you would need. But yeah, we would take them and we would either put some fresh appliance, like sand it and put some fresh appliance paint on it, fix the knobs, wash it really, really good, power wash it, or it would actually be fixing the pumps and things like that. And we would flip them and we would make a good amount of money on that. Like, I remember we had this little cash box and it would literally all be in cash. And we would just, until we made like a threshold, which was like $1,000, we would take it to the bank. And we did that. And it was kind of funny. Like that was actually really good. And it was that we did that side hustle for a long time. And we ended up paying your car off with flipping appliances.
Yep, we did.
Which is crazy.
I know, we were laughing about it because we'd always have all this, like, because you get paid in cash, all this cash taken to the bank, like, put this on the car, put this on the car.
Yeah. And so we would go to the bank with like $2,000 or whatever in cash. And we'd be like, hey, we need to put, this on the car payment. And they're like, all right, cool. And, and we're good to go. And, they're probably
it's exciting. I remember the last payment we made, we're like,
we were literally laundering money. I'm just kidding, but you get it.
Laundering.
Anyway, so
good dad
joke.
That
was actually pretty good. And it felt good because it was doing something with my hands.
Yeah.
And it was, I was learning how to sell and flip. And we got to a point actually where we ended up buying a storage unit. Or renting a storage unit, and we would keep our inventory in there. And we would do delivery and hookups, and so I ended up literally being an appliance guy. I would hook up their washer, show them that it works, whatever, and sell it to them. That was actually a really, really good business for us for a while. And another side hustle I had was, mowing lawns and landscaping and all that kind of stuff too. So I kind of like use different backgrounds that I've had.
Well, I was going to say in this question too, Rachel's like, I have a feeling I started young. I was thinking about even you before we got married. When I first met you in high school, you were always making money. And it was hilarious to me because you were, 17 years old and you always had cash on you and you were always paying for everything for everybody because you were mowing lawns or doing drum lessons. You were always like had ways to make money. So that was nice bringing that into this time too, because you did have, skills in those areas. So that was good.
Yeah, I was realizing like if I wanted some extra money to go to the movies, like I had to make that.
Yeah.
And so between classes, I remember there was time like you're like, hey, you want to hang out for like, I don't know, the drama team or something's gonna go hang out or whatever, and I was like, no, I gotta do drum lessons, and I would just leave or something. Like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah. I gotta go make
I had
make
drums
money.
like in my van. Remember that? I had this, I call it the man van, but I literally drove a minivan to this is why I can't stand minivans anymore. Nothing against if you drive a minivan, it's just because my senior year of high school I was driving a minivan, but I had my drums just stocked in there all the time, and I would go to people and do lessons and drive back to school. And the heck is going on?
I know, that was so funny.
So those are kind of that you had. You would do some house cleaning for different clients.
Yeah.
I think you would help someone.
I got like a part-time job also, like at the mall, at like a clothing store. You know, I just did a few little like side things.
You did like nursery assistants or like what, preschool, watching kids.
Yeah.
You know,
and then our what's it called, like our arena where our local hockey team plays. I had a job there too, so I worked there during games. And and
so again, all these jobs
stuff.
we had, these side hustles, we didn't use any of that cash to pay the mortgage, to pay the utilities, to pay the groceries. That was from our primary jobs. Even though the primary jobs was not bringing in that much, it was still making ends meet. This was the bigger shovel to be able to slap on the debt and also pay for vacations.
Right. Next question here, I thought would be a good one to go into, is any suggestions on finding a side hustle? And I would say, I mean, it kind of can go into, I mean, truly like what you're passionate about, which I thought it was cool. We brought up, you know, how you did weddings, because you really did enjoy that. Not so much doing the weddings, but the editing portion too. But, you know, find something that you really do enjoy and find a way to make money doing that. I think this is like such an amazing time to do that with this day and age, with, I mean, YouTube and tutorial videos or Etsy shops. You make something and you can sell it on there. Like, there's so many avenues that you can do it. And it's, I mean, it's truly, the sky's the limit, like in creativity in that area.
Totally.
So,
and you know, I think that's kind of what it's interesting, because I started with the creative, because that's really what I was passionate about, but it didn't take off. You know what I mean? What took off was the appliance gig. That was actually, I was honestly at one point almost making more money than my other 3 jobs combined, like doing the appliances. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And then, but it, you know, we ended up, anyway, I won't explain the whole story because it's just, you know, what it is, but it kind of ended up finding our way back to what I was really passionate. So,
yeah,
you know, it might be something that you just need, you're not super passionate about, but it just needs to happen.
I was going to bring that up too. It might, and like, it's not like you wanted to do appliances the rest of your life and you didn't love it, but it paid off so much debt. It paid off my car. So if you're trying to save for a vacation or trying to pay something off and you found something that you can make some money doing that on the side, keep doing that until you know, finish. But it's like, you know, once that goal's done, if you want to, you know, you're able to branch out into something else that you can do that you actually enjoy, you know, that's more of a luxury. But
when we started the business we're in now, it was honestly because it was the foundation of having our debt paid off. Like, because we were we had freedom financially, we could take a chance on something that was big, and a passion point, you know what I mean? And we could take a chance. And I think there might be something you really want to do, but maybe you're just not able to take that chance yet. Right. You got to do something in the meantime. But guess what? The dream's still there. Like, you're still working for that dream. Yeah. And
what is cool though, and we've talked about this a lot, and I think we'll dive into it more when we do these other episodes, digging deeper into our beginnings of starting our business. But because of what we did and started off, like you said, with no debt, like when we got to the point where we really felt like, hey, like, you know, with our YouTube channel and like starting our editing business, like, we didn't have like all this debt or all this, you know, payments of things. Because we did that, we were like, okay, like, you know, because obviously it cost a lot to get this business started with editing and the equipment we needed and whatnot. But we both like were on the same page, like we've done all of this to get us to this point. Yeah. Like, let's take this leap.
We hustled to get here.
Yeah.
But it also,
it was scary. It was scary.
It was,
to do
but it also taught us how to be, you know, entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? Like, every side hustle gave us some grit, right? It gave us some discipline. It really did. And so no matter if I was flipping appliances or I was mowing a lawn or you're cleaning a house, it was giving us something we needed to be disciplined in order to do something different.
Well, and also, if you're watching this, I know some of you are listening, where you're seeing us in, this had to happen to get our business started. We had no space in our home. So we had have a tough shed that we
built a studio, which cost a lot of money.
It did cost a lot of money, but it cost a lot less money than moving. And that was just where we're at. So we have a video we can link of like our whole like tough shed building process. It's pretty cool. I always forget about that because it seems so long ago, but it really wasn't.
Yeah. We weren't really going to talk about debt too much, but I realized, you know, with a side hustle, the money could be used for all types of different things. Okay. So we first used it for the debt. Now we're using it for travel. CB5 Home said, did you start your side business of your vlog first? It was just a fun thing to do. And we're still working our side hustles. We had a little bit better jobs. So the shovels were bigger in all of the areas. And this was just fun. I mean, we didn't make money on YouTube for the first several years.
Right.
But we were consistent at putting out a video every week. So it's interesting how we started with a creative business filming weddings, and it got away from that and it went into this whole season of just trying to make some money to get where we want to be. And then it went back to not a side hustle, but just a fun thing to do. Okay. So that's kind of like the storyline. You know, in the meantime of that, you know, as we're saving for vacations and travel, we also had to realize that, you know, if this was a priority, then we couldn't, you know, go out to eat as much as maybe our friends were doing, or we didn't buy the new cars like our friends were doing. Like we had to like
the brand new
stuff. We had to like realize, okay, our priority is to travel. So eating out is only going to happen when we're traveling. And that's what we did. So we didn't eat out at all at home, but we'd save that for vacation. And so if it is your priority with travel, a huge part of it is making sure that it is a priority. And so say no to maybe the fun things here, you know, and the activities or the entertainment here, and taking that money and saving it for vacation. Okay. Right. So that's kind of what we learned through all of that. And that is why we were still able to travel. And that's why people would ask us, how are you able to travel? Well, it was because of that. Having a side hustle and saying no to a lot of things people said no to or said yes to, kind of.
Right. SSC PDX 76 said, side hustle questions. How did you set up a schedule for time for side gig with everything else? That's a really good question because I think, like we shared before, I mean, it was pretty extreme. And this was before we had kids. So mind you, we had, you know, more time in that sense to be working all the time. When kids came, Justin was working at Apple. I ended up going part-time. So it slowed down a little bit, but we actually always did have, at least you did, a side hustle going on as well. And I'd have to say the thing that helped in that is we did truly feel like, okay, this is a season, you know, until we get this debt paid off, or this is a season for this. And just remember why you're doing it. If you have a big purpose of why you're doing this, why you never get to, you know, have a weekend or rest, and you have a purpose, that really does help. But at the same time, I think, you know, when we got to the point where, you know, we were able to, you know, not have to do it because we're trying to get out of debt, but because it's travel or vacation, it was exciting for us because we're like, hey, like we're paying this off for our cruise. Like we shared, like that was something we loved to do. It was something we looked forward to. You know, we would watch, you know, like we shared videos on people cruising, and, you know, we love to go to the parks too, and Disneyland, Disney World. And it's
we'd
just
have envelopes for what we can buy in Disneyland for souvenirs.
Remember that one trip? So I was working at a coffee shop, and every time I had tips, and I'd always try to get the morning shifts because those were the good tips, I would put them in an envelope, and we would calculate, okay, how much do you think we'll spend for like breakfast, dinner, coffee?
We went on Disney's menu and prices and priced all that out.
This is when it's just you and I,
this is going to cost us much money for
we
Mickey
put in an
waffle.
envelope,
And we did churro envelope, like seriously.
Well, it was like day 1, day 2, and then we'd open our envelope. We had our cash for the day. Like we were really diligent in, you know, what we, you know, needed, because we, like Justin said, travel was a priority to us. And I know it isn't to anyone, but I think if you're listening to this, it probably is to you because you're interested in this topic. So that's really, you know, what helped us going. And like you said, how did you set aside time? You know, once we had kids and schedules got different, you know, we just had to prioritize things.
We had to say no to a lot of stuff. And that's the thing. It's like we had to be diligent, and diligent doesn't look pretty. Okay. Like it looks pretty when you, well, it looks pretty on the outside when you're like, oh man, this, you know, they're successful in this and this and this. But it's like, but the thing is in order that person getting successful is because of the diligence and saying the no.
Let's take, some football players, to speak your language, for instance, that, you and Landon will talk about, man, they're so ripped, they're so muscular. It's not like they woke up that way. They're in the gym every day. They're eating right every day. You know what I mean? It takes
100%.
a lot of diligence and work and commitment and saying no to the junk food, no to this.
Yeah.
It's not like they woke up one morning, and God bless the people that wake up just looking, you know what I mean? They just have a great body, but it takes a lot of work to have a body like that. Yeah. So same thing. It's like people say, oh, you guys are so lucky you travel. I'm like, we're not really lucky. Like, we worked really hard to do things.
You can be like the most motivated person. Okay. You could just be that person who's always motivated, but there's going to be days you're not going to feel it. And that is why you have to be diligent. It's not about motivation, because I am a pretty motivated person, but I can get motivated in the wrong things. So like there could be a day where I'm like super motivated to work out. The next day I don't want to work out. I actually rather do this instead. I'm still motivated, but it's not what I should be doing, right? And so that's where diligent kind of kicks in.
Right.
Okay.
And I think, I don't know, I just want to bring up one more thing, is I think another thing, just because we've lived through a lot of this, is when people are like wanting to do what you do or do this, it's amazing the excuses, and I've been there, that you will come up with why you can't do it. Yeah. Don't have excuses. And I think I did that forever about finishing my degree in my school. I'm like, I have a kid. I was pregnant with Tucker. I don't have time. Like, I could have thought of every excuse in the world, and they were really good excuses. But I was able to get my degree finished. And I look back on that time as a time I was really proud of myself, because I could have used those excuses and very well, solidified why I'm not going to finish my degree. And for teaching, you know what I mean? And there's so many excuses we can use to do things.
I make an excuse every day to work out. Like, I got this, and it's like, and then all of a sudden there's this voice in my head like, there's no excuse because your gym is in your garage now. Right. Like you literally,
you've done everything
to
not have it.
Like it's 2 steps away. And I think I said that this morning. I'm like, well, I gotta go to the gym, but it's it's 5 steps away. It's So anyway, I think that's great. So a couple more questions. And again, we're gonna go in a lot more detail over like how we built this business. Right. This is just kind of like the side hustle stuff and everything. But there is a question that's again with CB5 Home. I never finished what she said, but she also said, did you do an LLC for side hustles or vlog? I want to say yes, we did an LLC for my appliance business and for my landscape business. We both made those LLCs. I think one of them was was Epic Lawn Care. Also, the other one was JJ's Appliances, because I ran it with my buddy. Those were both LLCs. And so we had our own like checking account, all that kind of stuff. And for our vlog, we now have an LLC too, but it never was that. We'll talk more about that in our podcast. She also said, you're our favorite channel. Would love to pick your brain how to start something similar. And the reason why I say that is because I have been thinking about kind of doing some kind of like class, I guess, and maybe some kind of like recorded videos of like 101 vlogging how to, because we get these questions all the time, like what frame rate you use on your camera, like all these different things. And so let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in, because I really am thinking about taking time this winter season to actually pre-record videos to kind of help you guys get channels going. Anyway, so
I have one. Sonia Lee said, how do you get your side hustle moving, started, and not sure how to get people to engage with it? That
is a really great question. I'm going to say it's going to be trial and error. It's going to be different for everyone because, again, we were working our side hustles. We were doing this creative business as a fun thing. But we didn't know that, meanwhile, in the background, we were building an audience to now where we have like video memories, or we have services that you guys purchase from us. And all of that. And by the way, video memories is a shameless plug, is we take your guys' content, videos or photos, and we make it into a video that you can always remember, your vacation by. And so we'll link all that stuff down below. We've done several videos of yours and it's been so much fun. But that was happening in the background. But in the meanwhile, we were just boots on the ground. I remember going door to door, knocking on doors, giving flyers out, going to business cards. When I was doing weddings and things like that, I was doing slideshows. I was doing slideshows for funerals.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And so I would take business cards and I would go to all the funeral homes around our area and drop off cards, and I would get hits from those because people are looking for someone to put together, like a memory.
Right.
And so I think that you just have to like think through.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure, what your area is, like if you're having a product or whatever. I think Instagram is also a really cool way to like showcase things, like making an Instagram page. I follow so many people that, like just show their drawings or their things they make or, whatnot. Like that always helps to help, get people engaged. Making reels. I mean, that's always fun too.
It is.
So,
one thing, if it's a product or if it's a service or something like that, I would grab like your closest people that aren't just a bunch of yes men, but they are people that will actually
tell you the truth.
And you build the product, you build a whatever, and you say, give me your honest feedback.
Right.
And
what do you think?
You have to be tough in this area. You can't go and cry and get overwhelmed. You have to look at it as this is a growing opportunity. And they come to you and say, well, actually, I think it's pretty dumb.
Hard.
It is very hard, but we've done that. I've done that. And I've shown videos or whatever to people. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, there's going to be no feedback or whatever. And then they're like, this is terrible. And I was like, what? And I wanted to quit. I wanted to throw in the towel. But, make sure that your product, your service is tried and true with your closest friends. And then, that's kind of how YouTube works. We put out a video, it goes to you guys who always show up first. And if you guys are watching it, then YouTube's like, okay, this must be a good video.
Let's pump it
out to the next pool. And so you guys are kind of our test pool. Those of you who show up, and it's kind of the same thing. Have a test pool of whatever that is before you start going out to really trying to brand it or whatever the case.
It's a good tip, babe.
There's also, there's other things, but it really depends, I think, what your business is. But what I would say too is find people who are killing it and who are doing it in that genre, and ask them questions and ask them these kind of questions. And that will kind of help maybe inspire you for the next steps. But it is a hustle. Like, you're going to be going to door. You're going to be doing cold calls. You're going to be doing emails. You're going to be doing these things to get your whatever out there.
Yeah. Did you see the comment? I think it's Josh Wethridge said, how did you start your Niners podcast? ... Oh, yeah. We're still waiting for that.
Oh, my gosh. Wait, is Josh? Let me see. Let me try to see his handle.
Oh, man.
Yeah. He's been asking me for a long time for this, actually.
You've talked about it.
I know.
There's another side hustle you can start.
There's so
start
many,
another podcast.
There's so many good like Niner podcasts out there. I'm like, what would I do in this space? Like, there's so many.
It would be purely just for your enjoyment.
Oh man, maybe Landon and I could do that. That'd be fun.
I know, he'd be good.
Actually,
at it
would be cool because there's
gosh.
no other podcast that has like their 9-year-old son. Like, so let me honest take of the football game and just talk about honest take, and then see Landon just be like, well, I hated that Mac Jones did, who knows?
He would probably love it.
Oh my gosh. SSCPDX76 said, how formal of a business plan did you start with? Honestly, not formal. Like, it was literally, I've had the idea. I would literally be taking a shower, have an idea, and I would activate it that day. Like, it was just that kind of mentality for me. I realized early on that, end of the day, you just had to activate. I think we can sit on something for a long time and try to come up with the best plan, the best whatever, and we just sit on it and we never do it. And I realized I just need to activate. And the same thing with like when we started making videos, we just had to make vids. They could have been terrible videos, but just the whole hustle of making a video, editing it, pressing upload was a huge learning experience. Every single video, we learned something new, just that whole process. And so, yeah, I didn't really have that. I mean, I think now we definitely have pretty formal business plans because we have to, especially when we're working with other organizations and clients and things and other professionals. But before any of that, it was just like, we went for it. We got it. We wanted to make money in order to go on a Disney cruise. Like, that's literally what it was. Okay, the Disney cruise cost this much money. We need to figure out a way in this many months to make this much money. That was a business plan. Like, we got to make $500 a month extra in order to do this vacation.
I think along the lines of that too, you're sharing is like, I mean, you kind of, if you're starting a side hustle, product, whatever you're doing and putting it out there, just be aware. Like we talked about it before, just, your feelings may get hurt. But also, you know, some people, it's kind of scary. You have to get over that fear a little bit of things, especially, I mean, speaking in the YouTube world, when you had said we push upload, put the video out there, we got some comments back that some people did not like our video. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's okay. But just being aware, like, you know, you're really putting yourself out there. It's a vulnerable feeling when you do that, whether it's a product, a video, whatever you're doing, but something you're passionate, creative about, and putting it out into the world and just saying, that's why when you said pushing upload, it's almost that feeling every time we're like, here it is.
But yeah, you're right. It's like you may get judged from people, and it may kind of hurt, sting, but you know what? Just keep on killing it. You know what I mean? Just don't worry about what people think, because that right there, it will demotivate you. It will completely just demotivate anything you have. You got to just, if you want to start something and you feel like this is what you need to do. I mean, we prayerfully considered all these. We really took it a matter of prayer for us. Like, we're like, Lord, like, you know, we could be doing a lot of things with our time. We want to make sure that this is, you know, honor you, whatever. And so we really made sure that was that. And end of the day, we felt like that was the right call. And we stepped out in faith. And even though we had people like whatever, even when we started our vlog, we had people who were like, what is this? This is so bad. And we still have people now who are like, what are you doing? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you make money off of that? You know? And it's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain what we do. Like, it just is. And we talk to other creators
and they understand
who in this space,
too.
and we laugh because it's such a hard thing to explain.
Yeah.
But you're going to be dealing with that, and you just have to kill it. There's another question on here. I can't remember what it was, but it was like about time management and stuff. And, you know, I think we kind of touched on it, but...
I think, well, this is the one I was going to do next. I don't know if it's the same one you were looking at, but it's pixie dust and portholes. How do you manage your time between... Name. It is. I like that. Between ministry, parenting, work, and travel. Yeah. This might be a good one to end on, too.
Yeah.
I'm not
so
sure.
A lot of these questions, too, are going to be really good for our next series. Yeah. Because, again, we're trying to keep this in the side hustle. And hopefully this inspires you to just do it, to kill it. We'll talk more about, I know there's some questions in here about, like, you know, again, like how to brand yourself, how to, you know, even the question that was mentioned of like how to, you know, like put yourself out there and how to have clientele base.
Yeah, follow people. Yeah.
We'll talk more about that.
We'll break that
in
down
other videos.
simpler. Yeah.
Yeah. But this one is always a hard one, and it really is by the season. But I have to say, there is power in getting up early. There's power in going to bed at a decent time. Okay, and I learned something early on that there was a couple hours in the evening that were completely just useless. It would end up me watching The Office or whatever, and I would stay up late. And I still do this sometimes. No one's perfect. But when I was at like the prime of hustling and I had absolutely no time, and it was family, ministry, we were having kids, all this kind of stuff, it was this. I would take the 2 hours, you know, 10 to midnight. I would erase those and go to bed at 10, and I would take those 2 hours and get up 2 hours earlier. So I'd be getting up at 5, okay, instead of like 7. Does that make sense? And so it was that. It was literally just getting up early when everyone else was asleep. And I did some math. Actually, if you just type this into, like, I don't know, Google or even chat or something, and just say, hey, if I got up 2 hours earlier every day and multiply that, times 5, you know, 5 days a week, times, you know, a year or whatever. Yeah. How many days do you get back? It's kind of a crazy number.
That's scary to think.
It is. But think about it. You take that and you're like, okay, let's just say it's like, you know, I forget, I don't want to say a number, but say it's this many days. That's this many more days that you are, you know, your phone's not blowing up, your kids are sleeping, you know, ministry's not calling because it's, you know, 5 a.m. You know, that's that many more days a year that you could be working on X.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think too, because you did ask on the lines of ministry, the part that's difficult with that, because ministry, if you're in it, you know, it's not like a 9 to 5 clock in, clock out job.
You know,
and there's so much within a church of like things that are going on that people just expect you will be there at because you work there. And so we've had to really balance that out in our life with family, with our business, our job, everything else too. and, you know, to realize we need to have time for us, you and I, our kids, our family, and we have to, the biggest thing, and this is not just with ministry, but with everybody, is we couldn't live up to everybody's expectations of what they expect you should be doing, and we are accountable to what we feel God's called us to as a family.
And I guess the way to end it is like, we had to find a proper balance, and we believe if we love our God with our heart, our mind, our soul, our strength, our everything, love of God, everything, we will find a proper balance. We'll know how, we'll make sure that we're loving each other correctly. We're loving our kids correctly. We're loving people correctly. We're loving ministry correctly. We're putting the time where it needs to be. If God is number one in our life, period. If a side hustle got above that, everything gets shook. If whatever gets above God,
you can be your family. People do that easily too. You
won't have the proper balance,
right?
And so making sure God is number one at the core, because then guess what? You get to chill in His will now. You are in His will, and that is the safest space you can be. So then you can be like, you know what? I know God has called me to do this, so let's go. Let's go.
So when you hear the haters out there, it does. It's their voices start to get a little quieter.
They dim, and that's the most important thing. So anyway, with that I think that was it was a great episode.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think it was fun talking about it.
It was.
I realized though, as we unpack this, there's so much to talk about. I know.
That's why I'm glad we're doing the other series.
Yeah, we're doing 3 parts, and so we'll get on Instagram and ask some more questions that kind of tailor that. But we'll also maybe use a couple of these questions too, as we do that 3-part. And I hope you guys are excited about that. As we talk more about the actual, how the side hustle turned into the business. But hopefully this inspires you to pick up a side hustle, to save for the vacation, to pay off your car, to do whatever. It's fun. It feels, I remember going to the bank with the $1,000 or $2,000 that we saved up from flipping appliances and just putting it at the bank teller and saying, put this on my wife's car or whatever. And if we walked out of that place with like the receipt, we see the balance $2,000 lower, and it felt so good. I remember paying churros with cash in an envelope. Felt so good. You know what I mean?
You need a big cash envelope for churros these days, man. Let me tell you.
Hopefully this inspired you. If you're listening to this again, please hop over to our YouTube channel, our new YouTube channel, and subscribe. If you just, saw this video and press play, thank you, especially watching till the very end. Please subscribe to this channel. Again, if we get to 1,000 subs, we are going to do a giveaway. So share this with someone. Let's get there. We're very excited about what's to come on this podcast. We love you guys so much. Do you want to share any last remarks?
I love you guys. Well, see you in the next one.
All right, guys. See you in the next one.
Bye.